This video will cover force problems, specifically force equals mass times acceleration. This being a simple physical science problem, the difficulty will be algebraic. In the problem, force equals mass times acceleration. Two of the components will be given in a word problem, and the third component must be solved for using algebra. So the key is to identify the two components of the equation, what is given, and what must be solved for. In this example, we are using force equals mass times acceleration. A 5 kilogram block is pulled across the table by a horizontal force of 40 newtons with a friction force of 8 newtons opposing the motion. Calculate the acceleration of the object. The key thing that one must do is to determine what is given and what one must solve for. So we are using the equation force equals mass times acceleration. Acceleration is our unknown. Now we know that our mass will be 5 kilograms. So we have force equals mass times acceleration. We know that we have 5 kilograms as our mass. Let's erase this. Put this here. We know that our acceleration is x, we have to solve for. And we are looking at our force. Now we notice that we have 40 newtons and we have friction as 8 newtons. So we take our 40 minus our 8 and we get 32 newtons as our force. So we solve for x, and we get x equals 32 divided by 5, and so we would have an answer of acceleration being 6.4 meters per second squared. In this example problem, we are still solving force using the equation force equals mass times acceleration. The problem is, what is the force of an object that goes from 35 meters per second to 85 meters per second in 20 seconds and has a mass of 148 kilograms? Our force is our unknown. That is our x. We know our mass is 148 kilograms. And for our acceleration, the first thing we need to do is we need to look at 85 and 35. Now, our object goes from 35 meters per second to 85 meters per second. That's a change of 50 meters per second. And if we remember, speed equals our distance divided by time. So if we take our 50 and we divide that by 20, that's going to give us our 2.5. So we were going 2.5 meters per second for our acceleration. When we multiply our 2.5 meters per second times our 148 kilograms, we would get 370 kilograms per meters per second, or 370 newtons as our answer. In this problem, we are still using force equals mass times acceleration. Calculate the force of an object that has a mass of 12 kilograms and an acceleration of 4 meters per second. We do the math. We should get 48 newtons as our answer. Force problems are very straightforward and simple. You just need to identify what is given in the problem and what you must solve for. Here we have what is the force on a 1,000 kilogram elevator that is free falling at 9.8 meters per second squared, which is the pull of gravity. Force equals mass times acceleration. Force is our unknown. Our mass is 1,000 kilograms. Our acceleration is 9.8 meters per second squared. We multiply 1,000 times 9.8. We get an answer of 9,800 newtons. In this problem, we are asked to find acceleration. So we will be given force and mass and solve acceleration. Our mass is 50 kilograms. Our force is 500 newtons. Now in this case, we have 500 newtons equals 50 kilograms times x. We solve for x. X would equal 500 divided by 50, or 10 meters per second squared. This final problem, we have the mass of a large car as being 1,000 kilograms. We are asked to find the force. The acceleration is 3 meters per second. The formula, force equals mass times acceleration. So our force would equal 1,000 times 3, the answer being 3,000 newtons.